Welcome everyone to the few minutes that we spent together on the internet saying Dvar Torah in honor of the upcoming Shabbos. This week, of course, we have the privilege of reading Parshas Chayei Sara. The very beginning of the Sedra tells us that Vayiyu Chayei Sara, and it was the life of Sara, Meya Shana ve'esrim Shana ve'sheva Shanim, that she lived a total of 127 years. There's a very interesting medrash on this particular sentence in the Medrash Rabbi that goes as follows. Rabbi Akiva hoya yoshev v'doresh. Rabbi Akiva was sitting and he was teaching a shiur. He was giving a drasha. V'hatzibur misnamneim, and the congregation was falling asleep. The famous Rabbi Akiva was giving a shiur, and the people were falling asleep. And bikesh la'oravan, he wanted to wake them up to hear the drasha. Omar, he said, Maro asa Esther shetimloch al sheva ve'esrim Medina. How come Queen Esther was seen to be fit to rule over 127 communities, countries? Ella tovo Esther shahoysa bas bita shel Sara. Let Esther, who was the great granddaughter of Sara, and shehoysa kuf v'chaf Zion, she was, after all, 127 years. V'timloch al kuf v'chaf Zion medinos. And now let Esther come and rule over 127 communities. Because Sara lived 127 years, therefore Esther is going to rule over 127 communities. And with this, Rabbi Akiva was hoping to wake everybody up. What do the two things have to do with each other? Esther is ruling over 127 communities, and Sara is living 127 years. And why does Rabbi Akiva assume that this is going to wake the people up? So the Yalkut Yehuda explains the Medrash in a very beautiful fashion. He says, look, after in Rabbi Akiva's time, the Romans already ruled, and the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed. The people were wondering, what's going to be with the Jewish people? How are we going to survive this terrible Golus? How are we going to survive this Roman rule? What's the future holding for the Jewish people? And you rabbis, you keep talking about Torah and learning. I don't see the connection. We keep thinking we're learning. We keep thinking we're doing mitzvahs. And what's going to be? We don't see any positive result out of it. So Rabbi Akiva gives a bang on the table. He says, listen, I want to tell you something. You don't know what the future holds, and you're not aware of things you do in your lifetime, what's going to be down the road because of your actions. One thing is clear. Sara lived 127 years. That was almost 1,500 to 2,000 years ago. That was a long, long time ago. It was after the destruction, way before the building of even the first Beis HaMikdash. And now, only after the first Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, did Esther rule over 127 provinces. So 1,000 years later, after Sara lived, that's when her 127 years of life work first had its result. Are we aware of how far-reaching the good deeds we do possibly can have many, many years down the future? And what about the time we're living in today? Isn't it so that Jews for the last 2,000 years would have given their right arm to be able to walk in the land of Israel and in the streets of Yerushalayim? Let my right hand forget its cunning. And they never thought it would happen. How many good deeds were done by people 1,000 or more years ago that led to the good that we have today? And how much more the good that we do today may lead to in the future? Rabbi Akiva found the secret. Don't doze off. Don't forget the drasha. Don't forget the learning. Don't forget the Torah. Because even though right now you may not see the result, you never know. The 127 years of Sara led to 127 provinces ruled by Queen Esther. The efforts that we put in to daven and to learn, to give tzedakah, to visit the sick, to be charitable, to refrain from Lashon Hara, to answer Baruch Baruch Shema Amen, to get involved in all manner of good activities for Klal Yisrael, we never know what the result of that's going to be. For all we know, we're giving birth to a Queen Esther. And in the future, it's going to bring about great deeds and great good things for all of Klal Yisrael. May we truly be blessed to do the good deeds and to take the lesson from Sara and Rabbi Akiva. And despite the despair that was in his time, he put a positive spin on it to teach the people how they can look forward to the future. Certainly we can do no less. And in that zchus, we will be zoche to see that the future of Avram and Sara gets ever brighter as we live our lives and plan for the future.